Are they coming? Yeah, here
They
we go.
are coming.
Yes.
They are coming. Look at all these amazing membership people. Yay! Hey, membership.
Good morning. Hola. Buenos días.
Hola, hola, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien.
Bueno.
Buenos días.
Muy
Buenos
bien.
días, everybody.
Buenos
Welcome,
días.
welcome,
Hola.
welcome.
Hello.
Hola.
Ay,
Estoy estudiando español, pero no lo hablo bien. No
Oh
lo
my
hablo.
Muy
goodness.
bien. Muy bien. Bravo.
Oh, Rick, you're good.
Mi problema es yo no practico suficiente.
Tú puedes hablar conmigo para practicar.
Muchas gracias.
Muy bien.
Hello from Turkey. Welcome.
Turkey, I love Turkey.
There's Miss Freddie. Hey, Miss Freddie.
Hi guys.
So,
Thank
welcome
you for all you guys
everybody.
do.
As you're coming in, if you could rename yourself. So if you don't know how to do that, if you go next to your name, there's those 3 little dots and put your chapter and then your name. So we get an idea of what chapters are here, please.
Oh, look at all these amazing membership people.
Hi, Freddie. I just want to give you a hug.
Hi, Chris. I do the same. I wish I was there wrapping my arms around you guys. It is so great to see you. It just brings me to tears.
You too, Tess. Anna Laura, I see you're with us. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Hey, Patrick from UK and Ireland. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
We've got
Welcome,
Nashville
welcome.
and Minneapolis. We have Venice. Woohoo.
Awesome.
Cool. We're going to give it a few more minutes before we get started, so we make sure everyone gets in, because they let us out of the main stage a little early, correct?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they
Okay.
did.
Mhm.
All right.
Saludos from Cancun.
Carolyn Lindsay Coleman says she can't change her name.
Okay, so Lindsay, if you look at your profile picture, if you hover over it, there are 3 dots at the top right. If you click on that, you should say rename.
So I'll do it. What are we doing? We're changing it to what?
Your chapter and then your name.
Chapter, then name. So Lindsay, what's your chapter?
Italian chapter.
Italia.
Welcome.
All right, there we go.
Oh, well, Dolores, the land of mariachi and tequila. I like the tequila part.
I'm sure you will find out who was this from when you see mariachi and tequila. So I knew this was going to work. So mariachi and tequila are well represented here.
There you go. Excellent.
And then I got a new speaking Spanish friend, so I'm so happy to be here today. Right, Rick? Good.
Absolutamente.
Perfect.
Freddie, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in Rocky Mountain next month.
We are so excited because we're just going to be having on May 20th, right before you come, our annual golf tournament face to face. With
Cool.
non-golfer activities and networking. So we're very excited because it's registration is going great.
Hey, Genevieve, good to see you.
We have Barcelona in the house.
Awesome.
We've got Canadian. Awesome.
All right, still have a few more people coming in. What time are we? So look at the agenda and tell me what time we're supposed to go to break.
They're breaking in at 1:20 Eastern, so 12:20
Central. Okay, great.
Yep.
So we have almost an hour.
Mhm.
And we should probably be able to get that done.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everybody during the presentation. If you have questions, please put them in the chat box. We will be taking a look at that. And then when we get to the Q&A part, if we have time in the first hour, you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, at the end of it, because we're in our second hour is where we're doing most of our Q&A. So if you don't mind, I'm going to mute you.
Yeah, and I want to unpack that just a little bit more to kind of manage expectations here and level set everyone. What we're doing in this membership breakout is we're going to be doing two main things. The first half of the breakout is going to be about Christy and Carolyn and I sharing just a whole bunch of information with you about membership. We know that there are not only people from all over the globe here today in this workshop, but there are people who are tenured membership folks, as well as completely brand new membership folks. So for the people who have been around for a little while, some of this is going to be a little familiar to you, but for the new folks, this is going to be incredibly important information. While we're doing the first part of the breakout today, we're going to be pushing a whole bunch of content out to you. What we encourage you to do is whether you've been around for a while or you're brand spanking new, we want you to take notes because we want you to be jotting down questions. You can either jot them down and hold on to them or jot them down and put them into the chat, and we're gonna try to get them addressed. Now, I will say this. We received a handful of questions prior to from many of you that had already pre-submitted some questions. So we're going to be addressing those and then getting to the questions that we have live here in real time. So we're going to try to push this content out to you as fast as we can. And then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get into the Q&A. The first half is going to be less engaging. The second half is going to be where we're going to really be having conversations and talking to each other. So just wanted you to kind of understand, I heard an analogy not long ago that said, sometimes these meetings and these breakouts are like drinking from a fire hose. So we're going to be pushing a bunch of content out to you. But if you don't understand, if you have a question, we want to give you the opportunity to get that question asked. The other thing, and I always share this with my boards when I'm working at the chapter level, is in fact, I want everyone to raise your hand, raise your right hand right now, raise your right hand, repeat after me. There are no stupid questions.
No stupid questions.
So I don't want anyone to feel like you can't ask a question, because this is where we're going to learn. So we need to go ahead and get started. So I am going to hand it over to our amazing Christy Estrada, our manager of membership at Global. Christy, take it away.
Greg. Thank you, everyone, and welcome. I'm Christy Estrada, Manager of Membership Development for MPI. Been with MPI for a little over 7 years now. We are so excited to welcome you to the Membership Road Training, a Chapter Leaders Professional Development session. Joining us today, as you already know, we have Carolyn Browning and Rick Weaver. Please feel free to chat it up in the chat box and let us know where you are zooming in from, which you've already got that covered. Today's schedule will consist of a full 1 hour presentation. We will break at 1:20 p.m., 12:20 Central Time, and come back at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time to begin the second half of the session. As Rick has already stated, we ask that you take notes, write down your questions for the second session that begins at 1:30 EST. We have dedicated that whole second half for collaboration and Q&A. These are the key objectives that we will be reviewing today through these following areas, which you'll get to know very well over the next 18 months in your chapter leader role. We're basically going to cover all of these bullet points in this first hour presentation. According to the MPI chapter bylaws, the Vice President of Membership shall oversee new member recruitment, new member orientation, member recognition programs, scholarships, and chapter retention. The Vice President of Membership will have access to membership reports, including new member reports, current active member reports, and canceled member reports from the MPI database. All your membership reports are linked to the MPI database, so anything that pulls through those reports are current and active. The VP of Membership is also responsible for reporting out at all meetings of the Board of Directors and at other times when called upon by the President. Please don't forget to read your chapter bylaws and your chapter policy manual to make sure you're familiar with any additional chapter specific responsibilities you have. Additional responsibilities can be found in your role job description provided at the chapter level. What is your role in membership? Lead the membership committee to create and implement membership plans for chapter growth, including member recruitment and retention programs. Engage existing members to ensure they are fully aware and understand the MPI benefits available. Create awareness of MPI benefits that are available. Create awareness of MPI benefits in your region through direct communication with prospects, partnerships with other organizations, and etc. Work with the VP of Education, other chapter board leaders, and other MPI chapters to develop and implement best-in-class programs to retain and recruit members to MPI. You're also required to maintain a close relationship with MPI Global to ensure member records are current and share names and emails of prospective members. This is very important, especially during the current pandemic that we're currently in. One of our biggest challenges right now from an MPI Global standpoint is outdated member information. So if at any point through the chapter level you receive updated contact information for a member, please send that information on to your member engagement representative, or you can send it to feedback@mpi.org. You also need to understand and be able to incorporate the needs of members and prospective members into all of your chapter programs. Additionally, your role is you'll need to be able to share the value of MPI membership with others. It is imperative that you know the MPI products to be able to develop a strategic acquisition and retention plan that helps to enhance the member's experience from the chapter level. With that, develop SMART goals for your business plan. SMART stands for, which I think you probably all know this, is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. Set clear goals, motivate and communicate with your committee and your member community. Membership plans are due to your chapter administrator by June 15th. You may use the MPI action plan template or another format. Any format is okay. What is important is that you have your plan ready to submit by June 15th. Do an audit of membership materials, brochures, and websites, and remove, update, or replace any outdated information. That's so important because we always want to make sure that any information that's out there on our websites, our social media pages, even the CLR page, I'm doing an audit of that currently right now. It's always important to have the most up-to-date information so that members can have that front and center, and also for chapter leaders. Use the resources available to you on the chapter leader resource page, which this is a page that you should be frequenting every single day as a chapter leader. This is the chapter leader resource page. MPI Global provides the VP of Membership resources, including chapter leaders newsletter, emailed monthly with updated news, resources, and important dates from MPI Global. This newsletter is where you're going to find anything and everything all MPI Global related as it pertains to what's going on in events, membership campaigns and promotions that are currently going on, academy, what's going on in the industry. So this is definitely a newsletter that you want to be viewing. I believe it does go out the second Thursday of every month. Additionally, the chapter leader resource page, which we typically refer to CLRP, is a very valuable resource. When you log into the MPI webpage, click on your name, you'll find a drop-down menu. In that menu, select the option chapter leader resource. In addition to communications from Global, you'll find a section for membership that features scripts for emails, phone calls, new member orientation and retention communications, examples of membership action plans, templates for membership strategy plans, information on membership reports, meeting notes, and more. Regular calls with other VPs of membership and your MPI Global staff liaison will help you to share best practices with your peers. Get your burning questions answered and provide assistance to you and in your volunteer row. So make sure to attend as many calls as possible or catch up on the notes if you happen to miss one. Just a quick note on the new member orientation. MPI Global does have their own new member orientation that is monthly. It's the third Thursday of each month. As soon as a member joins, they get an email that has the registration information for them to register for the new member orientation. It's a very engaging and active new member orientation that we just revised this past year. So if you get a chance and never have attended a new member orientation, go online and register for the next one so you can see how the orientation is more engaging and we allow the new members to actually ask questions and all of that good stuff.
Hey, Christy, before you move on, how would chapter leaders get access to that link if they're not, because if only new members get the link?
Mm-hmm. So they get, a new member receives an email link. So the new member orientation is listed on the MPI Academy page. So up at the top, you'll see a link that, oh goodness, I can't remember. I think it says, I can't remember what the link says at this point, Rick, but it drops down and then you'll see where it says Membership 101 and you just click on it. And then they have all of the new member orientations listed out for the rest of the year. So if you're looking at it today and you can't actually attend a new member orientation until July, you can go ahead and register for the July new member orientation.
Cool, thanks.
All right, so I am now going to turn this over to Carolyn.
Hey, thank you, Christy. So just before I get into my part of the presentation, this is being recorded and a copy of the slides is going to be available in the CLRP. So yes, we want you to take notes. Yes, we want you to put your questions in the chat box, but you don't need to be furiously taking screenshots of everything. You'll get this later. So each of you has a part to play on the membership team. So let's talk about some guidelines on the structure you want to create and some tips on its management. So what your chapter's membership team looks like will depend on the size of your chapter and the engagement of your volunteers. This is an ideal model where you have a VP, you have 2 or more directors, you have committee chairs, and you have committee members. We know that that is not a structure that's going to work for every single chapter. If you've got a very large chapter, you might have this kind of structure or something bigger. If you've got a smaller chapter, you could have a VP and committee members without the directors, and maybe you have a chair or 2. So you're all working together for the common good of the membership and to make sure that your strategy is moving forward and that your members' needs are being met. Ideally, the VP has got that strategic role, understanding the goal for this year and for years going forward. They are the interface with Global and with the chapter executive board. If you have directors are a little bit more tactical. They're hands-on with the committees, making sure that the committees have understanding of the needs of the members and they know how to implement the procedures. If you have chairs, which go under the directors, their role is more in depth in the day-to-day operations, setting up committee meetings and running them, making sure that committee has enough volunteers, and working with the director to make adjustments going forward. And then you've got those committee volunteers, and the committee volunteers do the heavy lifting, making sure that the tasks get implemented and that the activities go forward. Again, we understand that this structure doesn't fit every single chapter, because chapters have different sizes and they have different depths of the volunteer base. One of the key takeaways, though, is that membership is everybody's responsibility. It doesn't just fall on the membership team. Communications is involved in membership. Education is involved in membership. Finance is involved in membership. Everyone has a role to play. You guys are here to steer the ship. And now I'm going to hand it over to Rick.
Wonderful. Thanks, Carolyn. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the actual global membership team and what kind of support all of our chapter leaders, our chapter membership leaders have. That the main thing we want you to know is you're not alone. You're not alone. The work you do is also supported by our membership engagement team. And they primarily work out of the global headquarters in Dallas. If you need assistance, MPI Global has a network of membership engagement reps who are there to help you. You can ask your COM to find out who your MER is. MER, just another one of the many acronyms that we have in MPI and in our industry. But MER, something you may hear it referred to as an MER or a MER, Member Engagement Reps. Christy Estrada, our lovely Christy, is the manager of membership, and she leads and manages the membership team to drive overall membership growth and satisfaction through focused acquisition and retention efforts. Your membership engagement representative is your chapter liaison at MPI Global, and there's several things that they can assist you with, and I'm going to give you a few of those. New membership. What they can help you do is follow up with any potential new members that you have already reached out to. If you've got membership upgrade needs, they can follow up with any essential members that are in your chapter area to upgrade to the preferred category. If a member has given you some new contact information, you can forward that over to your MER and to have them updated with MPI Global. I noticed a comment in the chat a moment ago. Carol from BC, Canada had mentioned that it would be wonderful if chapter leaders had access to be able to update that information. So I've added that to the list of things that we're going to pass on to Global. Your membership engagement reps can also help with membership renewals. This includes members that are in their 60 and 30-day past due and members who are currently due to renew their membership. Some of the other things that they can help you with are membership reinstatement, installment plan agreements, membership transfers, unemployed member assist, student in transition membership, retired memberships, and our lifetime memberships. So there's all kinds of ways that they can assist you at the global level. Partnering with your member engagement representative at the chapter level, your tasks may include following up, similar in some ways, following up with any potential new members that you've already reached out to, following up with any essential members that are in your chapter area to upgrade to the preferred category. If members provide you with new contact information, you can forward it over to your MER to update with MPI Global. Membership renewals. This includes current members and those in the grace period. Some other tasks you may encounter include installment plans, membership transferred, or FERS, unemployed member, student in transition, retired and lifetime memberships. But you're also going to be able to promote special membership discounts, use some marketing materials for trade shows that are already in place that Global has created for all of our membership chapter, our leaders involved in membership at the chapter level. One thing, and Christy mentioned this a moment ago, but I want to re-emphasize it. On July 1st, the membership engagement representatives will send an email introduction. So just know that every single new member will get an introduction. Now, Christy, I want you to do me a favor and stop sharing the screen. Just stop sharing and pull it down. Carolyn is going to launch a quick poll before we move on to the next section. Carolyn.
Okay, see if we can get this done. So, what are the 3 levels of MPI membership? See if you guys have done your homework.
Yeah, exclusive, critical, prestigious, essential, preferred, premier, small, medium, large. What do you think? The 3 levels of MPI membership.
All right, we've got 72% of the people have voted. See if we can get everybody in here, almost. We've got some smarties here.
That's right, baby.
Okay. All right, we're going to share the results of who's voted. And look at this. Yay.
96% of the people. You go. All right, Christy, throw that slide back up for us.
You got it, Rick.
All right, so as we just learned, there are in fact 3 different levels of MPI membership. the essential membership. It's a lower priced membership option, the bare necessities. Essential membership gives you full access to MPI Academy's on-demand education sessions, webinars, and trainings. This membership level does not, however, offer MPI chapter affiliation. So it's a great option if there isn't a chapter in your area. The second level is the preferred membership level, and hands down, it is our most valuable membership level. As a preferred member, you automatically become part of your local MPI chapter, which is where the majority of members get their value. Plus, you get all the education-based benefits of the essential level. Then there's the next level up is the premier membership, and that's for those who want the red carpet treatment. Get all the education and chapter benefits of the preferred level, plus you get VIP access and discounted rates when available to MPI signature events. The benefits of the three-tier model include providing flexibility for MPI to respond to the changing environment. B, provide clarity regarding value for the price paid. C, grow membership and increase retention. D, offer more options or more choices to current and prospective members, increasing the likelihood that they join at the level that meets their needs and their interests. And lastly, it provides a low barrier to entry to attract young professionals and those who are unfamiliar with the organization. Another membership that we have available to any member of MPI is what we call our corporate membership, and it allows businesses to secure year-long preferred level membership benefits for groups of employees at a discounted rate. Some of the things that come with the corporate membership are single invoicing. One annual payment simplifies the process and ensures all enrolled employees have instant membership benefit access. All corporate memberships begin on the same date and last for only 12 months. Existing MPI members may be included in a corporate membership purchase. The company can add a new member at a time of transition or can change member information at time of renewal. And lastly, each employee has access to their local MPI chapter, as well as industry research and news, on-demand education, a membership directory, and additional resources. So Christy, do you know just offhand how many, what of our total membership percentage-wise is using the corporate membership? Do we have any stats on that?
Percentage-wise, no. So I was pulling some stats, and I think we have about 20 individual companies that are on a corporate membership. It's funny because in the last week, I have received about 4 inquiries about it. So it seems to be picking up in 2021. It is a great benefit for a company because, you know, like Hilton's, they pay for Christy Estrada to join. 2 months later, she leaves and she takes the membership with her because it's an individual membership. But if you're on a corporate membership, if Hilton's on a corporate membership, Christy Estrada leaves, Hilton gets to replace a new person at no additional cost.
That's a wonderful, wonderful benefit. Thank you for sharing that. All right, let's move on. One of the cool parts about membership in MPI is that we have developed unbelievable affinity partnerships in the industry. One of them is with the Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International, HSMAI. And we've joined with MPI to offer dual membership to both organizations available to new and current members of either organization. The central goal of the partnership is to exchange professional development and training expertise. Now, this dual membership targets primarily our supplier community. The incentive for suppliers is to join both organizations. Demonstrates that MPI and HSMAI are acting on their commitment. So make sure that you let your members know at the chapter level that this dual membership is available in case they want to take part in that as well. All right, together, Meeting Professionals International and the National Coalition of Black Meeting Professionals are committed to growing a strong and inclusive meeting and event community. The NCBMP and MPI partnership is an exceptional example of two organizations binding together their education, networking, and event resources for the advancement of our professional community. New and existing members can join both associations and save up to 20% on the combined membership. Now, let's talk for a second about levels of membership. There are 4 different categories. As a planner, supplier, faculty, or student, MPI's tiered membership approaches gives you the ability to choose your membership experience. From ambitious beginners to seasoned pros, MPI has what you need to help you grow and advance your career. For supplier members, a venue, destination, or service provider, typically that's kind of what qualifies as supplier member. An example could be a speaker. I'm a almost 30-year member of MPI, and I am qualified as a supplier member, as a speaker facilitator. Planner, meeting or event organizer, could be independent, boutique, third-party association, or corporate. Some suppliers may plan meetings for their property or destination, but they belong to the supplier category. Student, currently the qualifications for you to be a student member, you're currently enrolled as a student. And faculty, similarly, currently employed full-time, part-time, or adjunct professor. Before we move on, there was a time in MPI membership when we were looking at, there was a kind of a planner, some of us have heard that phrase, type membership, where if you planned more than 51% of your job, 51% of your job, you were planning meetings, then you were in this category. But that's kind of gone away now, and we've kind of simplified it all in this manner. So just remember that. All right, moving on, occasionally you may get questions about upgrades, renewals, or financial aid from your members. So let's talk a little bit about upgrades. A current member can upgrade their membership level from Essential to Preferred, or from Preferred to Premier at any time during their membership year. They'll need to contact their the member services directly to upgrade, and that email address is feedback@mpi.org, or they can call 866-318-2743. They will be required to pay a prorated amount to complete the process. Now, on renewals, all chapters should be pulling their monthly membership numbers due for renewal reports 30, 60, and 90 days on the chapter leader resource page, and reach out to those individuals to renew their membership. Also, keep in close contact with your MER. They may be able to provide further assistance in that renewal process. Now, financial aid. What kind of financial aid? Well, MPI Foundation provides MPI members professional development and career opportunities through grants and scholarships. MPI Foundation also offers monthly new membership scholarships. Some little side note here. Currently, the foundation is not accepting new member scholarship applications. The foundation grant focus is on helping current members maintain their membership. Christy, do we have an idea of when they're going to be opening back up for accepting new member scholarship applications?
Currently, Rick, it's still to be determined. Right now, we are looking into the future on how we're going to continue to assist renewing members. Currently, we have forecasted the current grant for renewing members to last us through the end of May. So we just don't know right now. I'm thinking maybe during the summertime, probably the 3rd or 4th quarter into the fall.
But it's something that is going to be opened back up at some point.
Absolutely. It will absolutely be opened back up into the future.
Okay, wonderful. Let's move on. Membership scholarship. Scholarships are available for new MPI members. They cover the cost of preferred membership for 1 year. Designated funds are not available for renewals at this time. Let's talk about renewal hardship program. MPI offers a complimentary 6-month extension for any current planner or supplier member that is unemployed or on maternity, paternity, medical, or deployment leave. If after the 6-month extension, the member is still unemployed, they have the opportunity to extend their membership for an additional 6 months for only $99. They would need to contact the Member Services Department at feedback@mpi.org or call 866-318-2743. Please note, though, this program, we talked about that. This program is currently on hold, but it will be opened back up. And then lastly, monthly installment plan options. MPI offers a monthly installment plan on a need basis. The monthly installment plan is generally not put out there for marketing, but if you have members that you know this would be of benefit to, please connect them with the Membership Services Department directly. I will tell you, the last thing I'll say on this is that as an independent contractor, as a member of MPI who last year lost every single bit of his business. Every single meeting I had on the calendar for 2020, like so many of us, got wiped away, and I didn't work for 8 months. I had no money coming in, and I want you to know that I'm on. Even I, longtime MPI member, past president of my chapter, even I am on the installment plan. And it has saved me. It has been able to keep my membership intact, and I am incredibly grateful for it. So make sure that you let your members know about the installment plan and connect them directly to MPI. Now, I'm going to hand it back over to Christy, and she's going to talk a little bit about MPI's member value proposition. Christy?
Awesome. Thank you, Rick. If you want people to join MPI, you need to explain what is in it for them, or what is the value it offers. I know when I join an association and I'm paying $400 for the year, I want to know what I'm going to get out of the membership. At a very high level, membership has 3 primary areas of value. Education, the MPI Academy's future-proofing, on-demand, certification, and more offerings. The value here is that most of the education is free and comes with the membership. The only thing that a member will pay additional for is a certification course, and they receive a member discount on that. Networking through local chapters and our diverse platform of communities. I always, when I'm talking to someone who's thinking about joining MPI, I can't stress enough the importance of chapter affiliation and how they're going to get the best ROI on their experience and their investment at the chapter level. Leadership and business exchange, where a planner or a supplier, MPI has, whether a planner or supplier, MPI has business offerings that range from our hosted buyer program to advertising and sponsorships. The membership comes with a wide range of value, and we need to be able to understand that, to be able to sell the membership to potential members and current members, because we do find ourselves in a situation where a current member does not want to renew because they haven't received the value of the membership, or feel there's no value in it. So we got to be able to explain that value and help them understand the value so that they do renew their membership. With that, I will turn it over to Carolyn.
Thanks, Christy. So now we've talked about the different types of membership that are available. We've talked about the member value proposition, who can help you out. Now let's get more deep into what happens once a member joins and how to keep them. So Global has several touch points in place once a member signs up, including regular new member orientation webinars that Christy had referenced, monthly calls with member engagement representatives, and new member welcome emails about their membership benefits. So there's a lot of things that happen on the global level. But we also have a great timeline that they've put in place. And I'm going to remind you that these slides are available. You don't have to start, quickly writing all this down. So what you see on the slide in front of you is that the touch points in green are on a global level and the blue are from the chapters. So this shows a lot of points of outreach from global and others that are recommended on your local level. Your chapter is going to have policies and procedures on onboarding and welcoming new members that probably mirrors this timeline above or something very similar. MPI Orlando has got a great example in the CLRP that they won a RISE award for a couple of years ago. It details how they use a specific timeline and touch points for new members and to help members renew. It also talks about how they use focus groups throughout the year to gather new and prospective member feedback. We heard a lot from earlier from the Northern Florida chapter about engagement and onboarding as well. So two great examples of chapters to reach out to if you have questions about maybe modifying your new member timeline. So next up, they've joined. We want to keep them. There's a process in place in Global starting from about month 9 or 10 focused on renewals. Now I've got to look over here. I got to do 2 screens here. Here's what should happen from both the global and chapter side for renewals. And so it's divided into current members, so that outreach starting in month 9 or 10, then what is called the grace period. So month 12, when your membership is technically expiring, so month 12 and 13, and then that win back from months 14 and 15. Chapters and global should work together to keep those members retained where possible. We do understand that people change jobs and circumstances change, but it's that outreach to find out what can we do to help you stay and help them to understand the value of the membership. So let's talk a little bit more about specifics on how chapters can help with renewals. It's about engagement. So you want to engage your members throughout the year. Share chapters' accomplishments, what you've done as a chapter from the past year. Highlight those benefits of the preferred and premier levels. Call and email the members on their renewal list. That personal outreach is key. We heard about personal outreach from North Florida. We heard about personal outreach from Mexico earlier. Anytime you can reach out to the members and ask them how they're doing, ask them how their experience has been, it's better. They've got that local outreach. A phone call, an email. I've seen on the chat where people are talking about finding somebody on LinkedIn because maybe their existing email isn't current anymore. So any way that you can figure out how to get in touch with the members. Know who your at-risk members are. So using those reports on the CLRP, the chapter leader resource page, to see who's due for renewal and who hasn't responded yet. And if you need to, you've got those scholarships that might help. Now let's talk some more about strategies at the local level to keep the new and existing members engaged so that we can retain them. If you've been on the board previously, you've heard about retention. So what exactly is retention? Simply, it's a comparison of a member snapshot a year ago to the current snapshot, seeing how many of those same people are still members. So in the example that you're seeing on the screen, if there were 120 members in March 31st of last year, and 95 of that same group are still members this March, you divide 95 by 120 and you get an 85% retention rate. In the past, Global has recommended that chapters aim for at least 70% retention. Then 2020 happened and many things have changed. In the current climate, Global will never ask a chapter to have a higher retention rate than Global's overall retention rate, which as of this March was 64%. Chapters are encouraged to aim higher, but we understand it's a difficult climate. We encourage you to do everything you can to retain your members. But again, we understand that things are changing.
Yeah, to that point, Carolyn, I would like to say that we still do at this moment have renewal funds available. And I can't stress how important it is that if you have someone that cannot renew their membership because they're facing financial hardships due to COVID, connect them with member services. We can help them maintain their membership.
Perfect.
And Carolyn, can I also add to that? I want to put an exclamation mark on your comment about Global will never expect more of the chapters than what they are producing at the global level. The reason I wanted to put an exclamation mark on that, especially for those of us who have been around for a while, that wasn't always the case. And so I think speaks volumes to Global's commitment to making sure that they're living in the real world, right? So I just wanted to put an exclamation mark on that.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next slide. And let me admit somebody from the waiting room. It's all about multitasking. So part of retaining members is getting and keeping them engaged. And what exactly does it mean to be engaged? Well, engagement is an investment of time, participation, or money. All of you here on this call are engaged members because you are volunteer leaders. You understand the value of the MPI community. I myself, like Rick, is an almost 30-year member of MPI because I started when I was really, really little. And I understand the value of MPI, what it brings to me personally and professionally. So we want to get all of our members to become engaged and become ambassadors for MPI. Other chapters members become engaged when they participate in activities where they see value. And there are multiple ways to become an engaged member. You can be on the board like you all are. You can attend chapter meetings. You can sponsor activities. You can advertise. You can contribute items for fundraising. You can be on a committee. There are so many ways to be an engaged member. And we know that engaged members are more likely to renew and become long-term members. There's that direct correlation between engagement and retention. So we need to think about retention not as a one-time effort when someone is ready to renew, but rather as a year-long strategy. We want to engage them from the minute they join and through that event cycle and all of your chapter communications. We also know that the first 3 years is critical. The more you can engage those members in the first 3 years, the more likely they're going to become a long-term member. So we've mentioned some onboarding and engagement strategies already, but on this slide and the next, we'll share some best practices to consider to make new members feel welcome and get them engaged. Engaged members, as we mentioned, are more likely to renew and to refer others. A common thread in all of these that you're going to see on the screen, this one and the next, is that personal outreach. Forming a new member committee or an ambassador or a buddy system is a great way to welcome, onboard, and engage new members. And a great way to use those 1 to 3 year members or your veteran members is to have them become part of that new member committee or that ambassador system. Sending handwritten welcome notes to new members from the president of the board. When was the last time you got something in the mail? We all know that email is great and texting is great and LinkedIn is great and Facebook, but if you got something in a physical thing in the mail, you'd probably open it and say, who is contacting me? That personal touch might make a difference. Having a new member orientation or a social gathering before your monthly event, whether it's in person or it's virtual, so that the new members can see that there are other new people, they'll learn a little bit more about your organization. Connecting with those new members to understand why they joined MPI and what they hope to get out of their membership. How can you help them get the most out of their membership? And make sure you're checking in periodically to see how they're doing. On the next slide, we see some more ideas, again, focusing on that personal touch. So using new member ribbons when we get back to meeting in person to recognize those new people and to identify them in the opening remarks and in post-event recap. You can assign board or committee members and new members to each table. So divide up your group so that you've got some veterans and some newbies who can chat with each other. If you remember back to when you first joined MPI, if you went into that room, virtual or real, with somebody else that you knew, it is so much more welcoming than you walk in and go, oh my God, everybody knows each other and I don't. Showcase those volunteer opportunities. A lot of chapters have some kind of a committee fair where the different committees get up and talk about what's happening and how people can get involved. They can do it up on the stage. You can have people go around from table to table, but let people know what opportunities are out there. You can reward and recognize members who've recruited the most new members. I know in my home chapter, the Westfield chapter, we have some members who are really, really good at recruiting new members, and they are always in competition for getting the most new members. And feature those new members in your newsletter or on your website.
Carolyn, I would just like to say real quick, as an individual that talks to these members on a daily basis, whether it be through phone calls or emails, to Carolyn's point, one of the main feedback that we receive from someone who's new and has attended chapter events, and we hear it over and over again, that they feel like sometimes our chapters are kind of cliquish, which goes to Carolyn's point where they don't feel very welcome because everybody knows everybody else. Just really make it a point to be so engaging with that new member that comes to their first event. Make them feel special and like they are a part of the group.
Great point, Christy. And so that's one of the reasons or those suggestions for dividing up your board so that they're not all sitting at one table, and inviting those new members in. Anything you can do to make that connection so people feel part of the group. Thank you. All right, so if we move to this slide. So in addition to shepherding our new members, we need to give everybody else some love, because we know it's about the heart thing, to show that we care and appreciate their membership. This applies to our active members and those people who are kind of more passive, sitting around seeing what's going on. With some recognition and attention, you could turn those passive members into more active and engaged members. And I sound like a broken record, but the more engaged your members are, the easier it'll be to retain them. So the example you have on the screen here is from the MPI Toronto chapters, where members can earn volunteer recognition points, and then the committee nominates a member to receive an award. Other ideas for member appreciation, you recognize those members for their accomplishments. So find out about job changes, promotions, or certifications or degrees, and share those, congratulate people. Share member stories on your website or your newsletters. Some chapters celebrate birthdays. Most chapters celebrate membership anniversaries. Recognize those volunteers at meetings. So you might have those new member ribbons, but how about volunteer ribbons? Ask the volunteers to get up. How powerful would it be, whether you're in a virtual arena or you're in person, where if you ask the volunteers to get up and 80 to 90% of the room stands up, those people who are sitting down are going to say, I need to get involved. So recognizing those volunteers. A lot of chapters do annual awards. And another thing that some chapters do is send thank yous to the employers. Especially if you've got those annual award ceremony, invite the employers to see what their employee is doing on the volunteer basis. It's a great way to show the employer that there's some ROI here. They're paying, if they're paying for this volunteer to be a member, you make that great connection. So I'm going to pass it back to Rick to talk about some recruitment tactics.
Thanks, Carolyn. So I want to go off script a little bit, and Christy, you're going to crack up at this. So when we were divvying out all of who was going to be talking about, and I found out that I was going to be talking about recruitment, I really wanted to slit my wrist. I mean, let's just get honest here, because right now in this world that we're living in, it could be perceived that the hardest job in MPI right now at the chapter level is to recruit new members. But I want to unpack that a little bit, and I want to show you just how it's not. So let's move on. New members bring new friends, business opportunities, volunteers, people to network with, job opportunities, speakers, event locations, sponsors, and new ideas to your chapter. To attract new members, Develop a new member acquisition strategy around non-member attendee lists from your chapter events. Now, I know that many of you already do that, but how can we take that to the next level? How can we use technology to take it to the next level? How can we use social media to take that to the next level in trying to get these non-members who are coming to our events and to join? And we need a strategy around that. Develop an acquisition campaign that utilizes your current membership, bringing one non-member attendee to a chapter event. And remember, more members, more rebates, providing your chapter with additional revenue. The following acquisition tools are provided to help you. Currently, we have 190 individual members utilizing the monthly installment plan option. Monthly membership chapter toolkits can contain marketing content to help chapters promote current membership, promote education, and promote event offers. Monthly installment plan options. This is not a marketed program, as we mentioned before, but it is available on a need basis. The new member or current member would need to reach out to member services at feedback@mpi.org. Any member who opts to utilize the installment plan program will automatically be enrolled into auto renewal for next year's membership renewal. They will receive a 30 and a 10-day email reminder prior to the payment processing date. This allows members enough time to connect with member services if they need to opt out of the program. But please keep in mind that once the payment is processed, the dues are non-refundable. And I will tell you, being on the payment plan myself, I do get those email notifications. So I always know when it's about to hit. Also, I also get an email confirmation, because I use this as a write-off on my taxes for membership dues for organizations. I get an email receipt every time one of those membership dues are processed. And chapters, if you need assistance reaching out to your non-member attendee list, connect with your member engagement representative. The MER will follow up with your non-members and provide you with the feedback. And also to link back to MPI Web as much as possible. Anytime we're engaging with those non-members and we're trying to get them to join, let's send them to MPI Web as often as we can. Now, to re-engage members, current members, the chapter leader resource page is your best friend when developing acquisition and retention strategies. One of the things that you're going to find there is a canceled member report. It can be pulled with a date range. This will provide you with a list of all members within your chapter who did not renew their membership and are currently canceled. Develop an acquisition campaign with your team to reach out to these individuals to attempt to win them back. They are what we like to call hot leads. They know MPI and are most likely to rejoin. And for all you salespeople out there in the world, you know that it is far easier to get back a client than it is to go get a new one. So don't forget to build an acquisition strategy around that as well. You can download MPI's universal membership brochure and the top 5 reasons to be a member of MPI from the chapter leader resource page. We call it the CLRP at any time, or request a digital version from your MPI Global MER member engagement rep. Now remember though, a non-member can only attend 2 events a year before they must join MPI. And that's why it's important to monitor your attendance records on a regular basis. Make sure that you're in compliance with this policy and use it as an incentive for non-members to join your chapter. Make sure that you have a process in place to track this, and your chapter administrator, your executive director, or even your president will have the information on how to track this if you're not sure how to go in and run those reports. And make sure that you have a plan for how you're going to follow up with non-members prior to attending and after regarding this policy, to use that as one of your recruitment tools. Lastly, I want to remind you about or introduce to you for the first time MPI's Refer a Friend program. It's a great chapter acquisition program that, by the way, never expires. We encourage all chapters to promote this program on their websites and social media pages. One of the best practices, the Carolinas chapter has the Refer a Friend image on the front page of their website, just to make sure that it is front and center so everyone knows. You can visit the chapter leader resource page to download the My Friend Refer a Friend MPI toolkit. All right, so Christy is going to talk a little bit more about membership reports and statistics. So Christy, take it away. You're muted, darling. That's the favorite phrase of 2020, right? You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. So we're going to do a quick overview of the membership reports. The membership reports may be downloaded from the CLR page, and they update every 24 hours. MPI has created membership acquisition and retention tools on the chapter leader resource page to help chapters with specific to first and second year member engagement strategies and current global campaigns. One other thing, we have developed a 15-month engagement plan that is out there on the chapter leader resource page. Now, it is a template. It is something that we work off of the MPI Global, but it's something for the chapter leaders to download and look at and try to implement. As we've all said throughout this whole entire webinar, engagement is the key to members renewing their membership. Also, you're going to find membership justification letters to your boss on the CLR page, recruitment talking points, membership brochures, membership to MPI PowerPoint. It's basically a PowerPoint that we put together that helps you sell MPI membership at one of your chapter events, specifically to non-members. And you can also find the monthly installment plan application on the CLR webpage. Tons of information out there. I'm specifically talking about membership, but there is information out on the CLR page from events to marketing and communications, anything and everything that you can think of that you may need to help you in your chapter leader role. Your chapter performance dashboard. This is just a quick overview. Your chapter metrics dashboard can also be downloaded from the CLR page. We recommend that chapters refer to this report at all of your board meetings. If you look at this report here under where it says YTD, that is actually a live number. So where you see 400 and I believe it's 38, that is a live membership number. So if this is the DFW area chapter, I know by looking at this report that they have currently 438 members. If you go back and you look under the March column, this will tell you how many members you had as of March, ending in March. You had 460. If you go down, you will see that this chapter had 2 individuals that renewed. They had 38 individuals that reinstated their membership into the chapter. They had 1 member who canceled in the month of March. They had 19 individual members transfer out, which means they transferred to another chapter. And whoops, sorry about that. They had 19 cancels, my apologies. They had no transfer outs. They had 1 member that transferred in. And then it just breaks down the retention here. And if you look at it, the 69.18% retention is with students. The 70.34% is without students. So we remove the students, and that's where you get this retention number right here. Also, if you have any questions in regards to your metrics dashboard, you can always reach out to your chapter operations manager, or you can reach out to membership. I am happy to get on a Zoom call with anybody. I've done it many, many times to review these metric dashboards and just walk you through the ins and outs of it and how to completely understand it. Here is a fun idea: telling your chapter membership story. Create an infographic to share with the VPs of education, sponsorship, and your membership committee members. You can also distribute it via social media, post on blogs, and share with prospective members. To request your chapter demographics to create your infographic, please send an email to member services at feedback@mpi.org. So this is basically what you're looking at is an example of MPI Global's demographics. What you can do is you can send an email to feedback@mpi.org, ask for your chapter demographics. What I do is I submit a request, I get that information back, send it back to you, and then you can go to this website here, pick2chart.com, and with the demographics information I'm providing you, you can build out your own chapter's infographic. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Well, that is the end of our presentation today. Thank you everyone for joining us. It is greatly appreciated. I always love reaching out to our members and our chapter leaders and getting to see everyone.
Hey, and Christy, before we head out and go into the break, I think we all in this room need to give Teresa Sauceda a big round of applause for her. She was answering a lot of questions in the chat. So Teresa, thank you so very much for all your help.
Teresa is my right-hand woman for sure.
All right,
So, Rick, do we want to do the poll now or do we want to wait until after our Q&A session?
We have 3 minutes until they do it. So let's go ahead and run it now.
Okay, cool.
Do you feel better prepared to tackle your role after today's training? Absolutely. I think so. I need to let this all sink in first. Yeah, we were fully aware that it was, like I said, drinking from a fire hose, but we wanted to get you all of this information to set up our Q&A when we come back from break.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we're going to just give it another couple seconds. All right. So here are our results. So that's good that 55% of you said absolutely, but we have some people who need to let this all sink in. Totally understandable.
Oh my God. I was going to say, Jill Rasco, you cracked me up. That is so cute. Thank you.
So I think that we're going to have our DJ is going to come into the room. It's going to be piped into all the rooms. So we have about, yes, Rick?
I was just going to say, that's a great reminder. We were told when we were getting set up and getting trained for this breakout, do not leave this room.
Yeah, do not leave this room.
Everyone stay right here in this breakout. They're going to pipe in the DJ into us. So don't leave this room. And when the DJ in our break is done, we'll just stay here and we'll start the Q&A section.
But please keep your questions coming in the chat. I know that Teresa has answered a lot of them, but we're definitely going to be open to more questions. And we do have some questions that have been sent in earlier that we're going to get to in our second hour. So stay in this room. The DJ is going to come in. If you need to take a bio break or grab some food, you can do that now.
Yeah,
I'm
wonderful.
actually going to turn my
see
camera
y'all
off
about
for a minute.
15 minutes.
Today at the Chapter Business Summit, having a good time. We're virtual, but we're still having a good time together and learning a lot today. We're just taking a quick break to have some fun. If you want to hear a song, please don't hesitate to drop it in the chat wherever you're at. We'll do our best to get as many of those on for you as we can during this break, or if not, we'll try to get on them for you tomorrow as well. And just appreciate having everybody here today, having a good time together. Oh yeah, once again, welcome. We hope everybody's having a great time so far today at the Chapter Business Summit. This is just day one. We still got another full day tomorrow of learning and fun together. So we're taking a quick break here before we move into the afternoon session. My name is David, and I am doing some music for you right now. If you want to hear something, drop that in the chat somewhere, and we will find that for you, and we'll try to get those requests on for you during this break. If not, we'll try to get to them before tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. We hope everybody's learning. Welcome all the new leaders, and welcome all the returning leaders as well. We're so happy to have you here today, and we hope you're learning a lot here at CBS. Oh, we are just halfway through day one of Chapter Business Summit. We hope everybody's having a good time so far, learning a lot and having an opportunity to catch up with some folks that maybe you haven't seen in a while. We're so happy to have you with us here today. We're on a quick break before we launch into our second half of the day. My name is David, and I'm the DJ for you. Dropping some music, trying to just have a little fun before we get back into the second half of the day. Relax, enjoy yourselves. If you have any requests, please drop those in the chat, and we'll do our best to try to get some on for you. Hope you guys are having a good time. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. I see your message there. Thank you so much. Hope everybody's having a good time today. It's fun to just move a little bit. And, when we're sitting down and having to watch a Zoom conference, sometimes it's nice to just move a little bit. So I hope you guys are enjoying the music. Once again, if you do have any requests, if you do want to hear something, please let me know. I'll do my best to try to get it on for you in the time we have together. And if not today, we can try to get to that to you tomorrow as well. Just want to remind everybody, my name is David Hanscom. I'm out of Northeast Florida chapter. Love our chapter. And I'm with a company called Y Entertainment. We provide DJs and game shows and all kinds of fun things for events. So we'd love to chat with you about that. If you ever need any help with that, and we're going to keep the music going for you. We got just a little bit longer before we get started on that second half of our day. And we hope you're enjoying yourself so far. It's been a fun time. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth McKenna. I see you out there. Thank you. I got to play this one from my friend Katie from UF. Go Gators. I know this is her favorite song, so hopefully she's out there listening right now. I know she always wants me to play this whenever I get a chance to sneak it in for her, so I'm going to drop this for her. Hope you guys are having a good time today on day one of our Chapter Business Summit. Looking forward to a great day today and tomorrow.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free. I've forgotten how it felt before the world fell at our feet. There's such a difference between.
I'm loving all the texts that everybody are sending me too, by the way. Thank you so much. Thank you. Jan Spence, I got your fireball coming up.
All right, David, thank you so much for all of that great music. Give David a big round of applause. Thanks, David. So glad you were here for our break. All right, so we're going to jump into part 2 of our membership breakout today. And what we wanted to do is we had a lot of questions that were put in the chat when Christy and Carolyn and I were presenting, and many of those questions were answered by Teresa. We are going to be saving the chat, so if we missed anything, we'll make sure that we get it either answered today live in this real-time session, or we will make sure that we follow up and get those questions answered to you, because those questions are so incredibly important. As I mentioned to you at the beginning of our session today, we did have some questions that were pre-keyed up for us, sent in by you, many of you that are in this breakout today. So we wanted to begin to address those first, and then we'll start getting to some of the other questions that we may have more in real time. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to be teeing up questions to Carolyn and or to Christy, but I'm also going to be teeing up some questions to the room. So this first question or this first statement is that is one I want to just open up to the room, and I want to get just a little bit of feedback on it. So I'm going to leave it on screen for a second, then I'm going to ask Christy to take down, or I'm going to take down the sharing so that we can open up some questions or some responses. If you'd like to respond to this, please just unmute. Instead of going through the whole raise your hand thing, just unmute and share with us, and I'll try to manage that conversation. So what someone sent in and said, I would like to hear about ideas to grow more memberships from meeting planners that work for associations and corporations. So anyone have a really cool best practice on how to grow planner memberships? Something that you've done that's worked really, really well for you? Just to unmute and share, please.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy. No best practices on attracting planner members. Y'all gotta have something.
Well, I can share the planner member demographics right now, Rick.
Go.
So currently right now we have 50% planners and 40% suppliers, and other 10% are student faculty. If we break down the planners, we have 43.4% of corporate meeting planners, 20% are association meeting planners, 34% are third-party meeting planners, and 2% are government planners.
Okay, so that's some really good information to have. And it also speaks to the truth that we got work to do, right? We got work to do. All right, let's move on to the next question. And Christy, I'm going to tee this one up to you. Thoughts on creating a new supplanner MPI membership category for event planners that work for catering companies, commissionable meeting and event third-party companies, venue employed event management planners, wedding planners. This would alleviate confusion of having suppliers join under the wrong membership category as planners. Christy, what do you think about that?
So I will say that currently there is no discussion to create a supplanner membership category. We can put this in front of our chapter membership advisory council to review and make suggestions for 2022. We are looking at membership benefits and categories this year, so I'm happy to put that out there. Also, one of the things is that if I'm talking to someone over on the phone and they said, well, you know, I plan meetings, but I also am on the supplier side. And maybe it's somebody who's a sales manager at a convention center. I always ask them, are you planning more meetings or are you selling more product and services? And they need to actually break that down and make that decision, because if you're selling 51%, then you should be in the supplier category. So if you're 51% supplier and 49% planner, you should fall under the supplier category and vice versa. So if you're doing more planning than you are selling, then you should be in the planner category. Also, I can provide you with a document that lists out all the MPI different membership categories, has very detailed descriptions of each category. I think it will give you a good, clear overview of each one, and you'll be able to read through it and identify, you know, okay, well, I'm talking to someone who is 51% selling at a convention center. From the descriptions that I have on this category, they should really be a meeting professional supplier.
Yeah, and I think one of the most important things to remember here too, though, is that if you at your chapter level are seeing a trend in members wanting this kind of category or wanting this to be an option, send it to global. Let them know, because if they only hear from one person, they don't see it as a systemic need. But if they start hearing it from multiple chapters a lot, it's going to have to be something that's going to be looked at. So make sure you do that. So Carolyn, I'm going to throw this up to you. What are MPI's plans with future membership rebates?
The rebate question. So I know we have some newbies on the call, so I'm going to kind of give you an overview of rebates because I don't think we really touched on it during the presentation. So we all know that we pay membership dues to Global. So of those dues, a percentage is paid back to the chapter as a rebate. So this applies to people who are preferred and premier members because they have a chapter affiliation. Last year, and we're going to blame it on COVID because it's exactly what happened. Last year, the rebates were frozen for a few months. So from April through June of 2020, the rebates were frozen. So rebates did not go to the chapters. They got unfrozen. So, you know, Queen Elsa came and unfroze everybody in July, but they started being paid back at a smaller percentage. So right now, chapters are getting a 50% reduction of their usual rebate. That 50% reduction will remain until at least June. And then the IBOT is going to review that again. Those rebates that were frozen, so April, May, and June of last year, are still hanging out there in escrow. They will be repaid, but it still hasn't been determined when that repayment is going to happen. Hope that was clear.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, the next question I'm actually going to tee up to the room, and I want some feedback from you guys. What are the biggest challenges to recruiting new members or maintaining current members in this new COVID world that we're living in? What are some of the challenges that you're running into? Just unmute and share.
Or we're going to call on people.
Yeah, I know names.
Finding them, tracking them down.
Finding them and tracking them down.
Getting current
current contact details. We use LinkedIn, which does work some, but only if it's being updated by members.
Great, thank you, thank you, thank you, Carol and Eddie. Who else? Other challenges?
Their companies not wanting to pay for memberships.
How do we overcome that? What's the best way to overcome that, Genevieve?
I mean, I think that the different options, like you were talking about, with the paying in, paying in pieces. I can't remember what it's called. I apologize.
The installment plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also talking to our representative with MPI.
Okay, wonderful. Other challenges, real quick, before we move on.
Lots of members don't know that their membership is a personal membership and it's theirs.
That's a great point. And then we need to do a better job of making sure that every member knows they're individual memberships. They're not company memberships. So if someone leaves a company, they take their MPI membership with them. And our members need to know that. Other suggestions or other challenges people are running into?
This is New Jersey. So when I talk to some of the members that are wanting to rejoin, what I'm finding is that they're independent and they just are out of work and they do not have the finances around it, nor can they justify it because they don't have the work to then correlate with the membership.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you, Adele. Thank you so much for that. We're going to move on to the next question. And Christy, I'm going to tee this up for you. How can we partner with you to increase membership in our markets? We talked a little bit about that in our presentation, but what would be kind of like the one best way that we can partner with Global to increase market share in our area?
So I have a few points to share. Share your non-member event list with MPI Global. If we have your non-member list, we can drop those contacts into our nurture campaigns and help convert them to members. So that way they're continuously receiving contact from us to join MPI. And we may even develop a specific campaign just for those groups. Develop a relationship again with your member engagement representative. This individual is your key to member acquisition and retention. They can follow up with non-members to join and renewing members to renew their membership. They can also help with any questions you may have as it pertains to membership. An example, retired membership dues, MPI student and transition program. It's a program that we have for individual students who some of you may not know. Once they graduate, they transition into the student and transition program that gives them the opportunity to transition in the first year at $75, the second year $150, and then the third year $250, and then their fourth year transition, it's the full member rate, but it gives them an opportunity to slowly transition into the industry and not paying those higher membership dues. Chapter toolkits, oh my gosh, we spend so much time and effort in building out these chapter member toolkits. Download them, utilize them. Your chapter toolkits for membership acquisition and retention strategies, they are awesome. We're creating everything for you, so it's there. All you have to do is download it and drop all that information into your website or your social media pages. Another thing, each chapter does receive one new acquisition promo each year that offers $100 off new preferred or premier membership levels. This is an excellent opportunity to build a strategy, an acquisition strategy around your annual chapter event. I will tell you that we don't get a whole lot of chapters that reach out and say, hey, we got this meeting going on and we want to use our once a physical year campaign code. Can you create that for us? So that's an opportunity that a lot of our chapters aren't using. With that being said, I mean, just really engage, put down an engagement strategy and follow it. I'll tell you, my team, a member joins 1 week, they're getting a new member call from us. And that gives us the opportunity to welcome them to the MPI family, to see if the chapter has reached out to them within the last 48 hours to engage them. And guess what? If they joined at the essential membership level, we're having a conversation with them to say, hey, noticed you joined at the essential level and noticed that you are in the Tennessee area chapter. Was that intentional? And let me explain the different benefits. And let's go ahead and get you upgraded with the Tennessee chapter. Then that gets the chapter a rebate off of that member.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christy. We're going to have to move on. This is a great question that I want to tee up to the entire room. What are the best practices from other chapters to foster and encourage more membership participation? And what does that mean, more membership participation? We always talk about, especially with new members, getting them engaged early on helps with our retention numbers. Getting them involved on a committee, maybe involving them through partnerships and sponsorship opportunities if they're a supplier. What are some of the things you're doing at your chapter level that have really elevated member participation, particularly new member participation? Anyone like to share some best practices?
I'm going to raise my hand. Hi, everyone.
Please go, Connie.
I would say I was caught as part of this experience. I was a new member that joined in 2018 from the WEC. And as soon as I joined, I got an invitation to actually participate as a new member focus group. And that focus group, it made me really look at the value of all of the resources that was available. And further to that, it enabled me to meet other members in that focus group right away. And it pushed me to actually volunteer. So right after that, within a month, I went to that focus group, I volunteered, I became a member of the marketing committee, and then 6 months later became the chair. And now I'm here being promoted as board. So I think from an engagement perspective, it was just the engagement itself, having me input and giving me an environment to collaborate was amazing.
I love that. Just a real quick question, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel heard. It made me feel valuable. It made me feel like I was part of a community that I was looking for. So I think the VPs that did the focus group did a fabulous job in just engagement.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Tess, I see your hand up. Go for it.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, we have been working too much with Christy on Latin America and Spanish-speaking countries, and we have found out that English is still a barrier for Latin America. So we have worked very hard to make them know that even though you don't speak English or quite well as me, there's no problems to be at MPI, and you can reach all the benefits and the value that MPI gives you. So this has been really working in Latin America, and today we are launching Chile Club. So we are, yes, this afternoon we are launching Chile. So we are still working with them to believe on the value of MPI, and there is no problems about the language. We are with them, we are supporting as much as we can with our economical challenges at this part of the world with Spanish-speaking countries. We are crossing two very hard economical problems, but there's always a hand at MPI to help you and to keep going without work, or if you are still employee, you can be part of MPI, and this is a community, but more than that, we are a family, and we're here for support, to give support for our members. So this is the principal message we are working on, and we have already been working on engagement with them to get to MPI as new members and to believe in our value.
Muchas gracias, Tess. Thank you so very much. Christy, I'm going to tee this one up to you. What are we doing to engage or invite BIPOC for membership? Diversity, this is kind of a dual thing. Diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging initiatives are encouraged by MPI Global. How are chapters being encouraged or even held accountable for ensuring they support these initiatives?
First of all, I would like to just say that I'm very proud to say that MPI has embraced and supported all aspects of diversity and inclusion. To name a few of our initiatives, we talked about it earlier, the MPI National Coalition of Black Meeting Professionals have partnered together to offer dual membership for both associations. New and existing members can join. This dual membership actually did launch in October. Since October that have participated in that and joined at the dual membership category. We're extremely excited about that. We continue to receive information on them wanting to join through this program and this category. MPI has also created specific councils or committees that oversee objectives and key results pertaining to justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Currently, we are working on adding a new specialty community to the MPI online member forum for Black meeting professionals. We also created a resource page that is specific for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion on mpi.org. Go to our resources page there, and it's right there. You can visit that. Lots of good information there. We also developed chapter toolkits to promote Black History Month, awareness of human trafficking, and justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. From a chapter level, chapter leaders are required to participate, and it's actually part of CBS, diversity and inclusion training.
Cool, wonderful, thank you very much. And I am privileged right now to be taking a certificate course through Cornell University to become a certified D&I practitioner. And one of the things that I've learned is that, and it was like one of the first things they taught us, and probably you all know this, but I think I need to say it, is diversity is not the same thing as inclusion, is not the same thing as equity. So we need to make sure that we are separating those out as we're pulling them together. So Christy, thank you for that information. Christy, I actually have another one for you. Will there be membership recruitment discounts offered in 2021, 2022? And what are the planned promotions to support chapter growth? The global promo codes seem to help us bring new members in. Why are they not offered on a continuous basis? And what else can we do to bring new members in and retain them and retain those that we are at the risk of losing? Christy, go for it.
First, I would like to just say that when you continue to discount your membership, you're devaluing it. So our strategy moving out of the gate last year in 2020 was we were focused on the value of membership and not the discounts. And then COVID hit. Everything that we received back as far as reportings, click-throughs, we have reports that show that non-members reacted to the emails or the campaigns that promoted the value versus promoting the discount. We have strategically planned new and renewal membership promotions for 2021 and 2022 around signature events such as EMEC, GMID, IMEX Frankfurt, WEC, IMEX America, IBTM World. And we also have our annual holiday campaign that is every December. Each one of these campaigns offer $100 off new member rate. Please do keep in mind that only the registrants to the events, to the signature events, do receive the offer. But anyone else for the holiday promotion, anyone can use that promotion.
Wonderful.
Go ahead.
Oh, did you have something else?
Yeah. And we want to so we're trying to get away from the promotions. We're kind of, testing the waters right now because everybody's still in the middle of, a pandemic. Another thing, I mentioned this earlier, know your product. Be able to pick up the phone or write an email to any potential new member, sell the value of MPI membership. The value of membership far outweighs the cost. As a VP of membership, chapter leader, or manager of membership, it's our responsibility to use our knowledge to enhance the member acquisition and retention within our communities. We're currently developing an infographic that tells this story.
Wonderful. And are you going to make that infographic available to us?
Absolutely.
And that likely will be in the CLRP?
That is correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. Carolyn, I'm going to tee this one up to you. We talked a little bit earlier about getting members involved, right? Do you have some best practices that you can share on how to get people involved and actually in joining committees?
Well, we mentioned some of them before, and I've actually seen a lot of chat going on here. It's about the personal ask. Connie mentioned that she was personally asked to be part of a focus group, and lo and behold, a year later, she's part of the board. I know that I was personally asked to be on the committee, and I think 6 months later I was on the board and then didn't leave forever. It's about that personal ask. Other ways, the volunteer fairs. So having something structured where members can find out about what the different committees are about and what the requirements are. The other thing is making sure that you've got a variety of different tasks available. We like to call them bite-sized tasks. So if somebody's got an hour of time that they can give you a month or a quarter, what can you give them to do? Some people, like us board members, or you all board members, have more time to give, but there are things that we can give people to do that don't take as much time, that might be email based or phone call based. So think about how you can divide up your activities so that you can spread the wealth.
To your point, what do you do with a member who says, I'm sorry, I don't have time for a committee? I mean, you kind of explained it, but what is there like, what can we say to that member who says, I just have an aversion to sitting on a committee?
Well, what do they want to do? Ask them what they're trying to get out of MPI. If they want to be, and we used to call them, check writing members or credit card paying members, somebody who's just paying to be a member. What benefit are they getting out of it? If I'm paying the money to be a member of MPI, there's something that I want to get out of it. Do I want to learn a new skill? Do I want to network? What do I want to do? So asking those questions, what are they looking for? And how much time do you got to give? And show them that there are multiple options of things to do. So maybe they don't have time to be on a committee. Can they donate items for an auction?
We've heard the phrase ROI forever, return on investment, return on investment, return on investment. In this conversation, ROI becomes something completely different. It is about return on involvement, right? What can I get from whatever time I can give you, whether it's 1 hour a month or whatever it is. So we need to approach it from that perspective too. Christy, I'm going to tee this up to you. How can we address the loss of membership due to companies not providing support to members?
Right. Well, as we mentioned earlier, MPI Global has been very fortunate to receive renewal grants from the MPI Foundation and the IMEX Group to help members who are facing those financial hardships due to COVID to maintain their membership. Since March of 2020, we have helped more than 2,700 members maintain their membership. We have also offered a variety of discounts, monthly, quarterly, and biannual installment plan opportunities. Just getting the message out there, it's funny that, we send all these emails and we don't get any response. We make all these calls until it gets down to the last minute of their membership counseling. That's when they actually reach out to us. Please, this membership renewal grant is for planners, suppliers, and faculties. So if you have anyone that needs assistance, just send them our way. We can help them maintain their membership. The Mexico chapter can speak highly about that and how we've been able to help them.
Wonderful, thank you. And Christy, while you're here, I'm gonna just let you kind of address this one as well. This came up in the chat a little earlier, and I know that it's going to be coming up because I've gone through my facilitator training for the annual retreat cycle that's about to happen. Information on a universal CRM system so members do not have to log in twice to both global and the individual chapter. There was talk about this a while back. Curious to see if there's a time frame for when it will be completed. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can give you some basics. The project was making significant progress in the fourth quarter of 2019. And of course, unfortunately, COVID came along, it was put on hold. The project has been revised for 2021 and is in progress. So we are currently working on that right now. I do not have a timeline of when that will be completed. We actually refer to it as an AMS, which is an association management system. But we are working on that for 2021.
Carolyn, correct me if I'm wrong. In our facilitator calls with Belinda, didn't she tell us that AMS they were looking at third quarter or fourth quarter 2021?
I think there's a committee in place and they are looking at it, but like Christy said, it was something that was kind of fell off the priority list, and now they're looking at it again for probably revisiting it starting third and fourth quarter, probably not being implemented until next year. But it's going to be more of an AMS, as Christy mentioned, an association management system, which is kind of more encompassing than just a regular CRM.
Wonderful. And Carolyn, while I have you here, what are the expectations of global/chapter retention, and what is relevant member growth during transitional timing and financial support and rebates moving forward?
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
So we talked about retention earlier, but just to remind you all that Global is not going to expect chapters to have a higher retention rate than the global average. So it was 64% in March. So that is going to be kind of the benchmark, but we're looking for chapters to shoot higher. We know it's a difficult climate. In terms of member growth, again, it used to be that chapters were expected to have this 5% growth rate, which we know is unrealistic. There have been some chapters, I mean, North Florida, let's talk to them, find out what they did. I mean, 3% growth during the pandemic, that's phenomenal. But 0.1 to 2.5% are kind of the new parameters. So definitely ratcheted down from that 5%. And then for financial support and rebates, I talked a little bit about the rebates earlier. So again, right now we're dealing with 50% of our previous level of rebates, which is going to be in effect through at least June of 2021. For other chapter support, you've got a lot of options from the foundation to that CVent program and incentives through the MPI Academy. So if you haven't read your latest chapter leader newsletter, check it out.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And Christy, I'm going to tee this next one up to you. What steps is Global taking to encourage new memberships in order to get us to pre-COVID levels? Like what does the recovery plan look like?
So as we all know, we're developing steps and strategies as we move through this current pandemic. I mean, there's still some uncertainty. That's why we're just really testing the waters and pulling back the campaigns. I'm sorry, can you still hear me, Rick?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, my computer's doing something really weird.
We hear a lot of pretty sounds.
I don't know what it's doing. But I mean, we have some win back campaigns. I'll give you an example. We pulled everyone whose membership canceled October 9th, 2019 through March of 2021. And MPI Global went out with a specific win back campaign to those individuals. And what we did is we offered them, it was personalized email to that individual. We offered them a reinstate offer they reinstate at the renewal rate, and we give them an additional 3 months of membership free, and we close the gap on their membership. And then of course we have the always standing firm, My Friend MPI program that's always available. We are striving to hit pre-COVID numbers and beyond. When we look at a goal, we look at our membership goals, we want to hit that goal and we want to go beyond it.
Cool. Thank you very much. And we have one more question that was pre-submitted to us, and we still have about 20 minutes left in our session. So I'm excited about this because what that's going to mean is we've now have a lot of information that we've discussed, we've put in front of you. And now once we get this last question answered, we're going to then open it up for live in the moment questions and maybe get some of the questions that weren't answered in the chat answered for us. So, and when we do that, I am going to ask if you have a question to please use the virtual raise your hand in Zoom, and that way I can take them in the order that they came in. This last question came in pre-submitted to us, and it's kind of a specific question for a specific situation, but I did want to pose it out to Christy. Can MPI find a way to avoid confusion of those seeking membership in chapters that seemingly overlap or are confused by which chapter to join? For example, a number of people seeking Potomac join the Virginia chapter, inflating our membership numbers, but then leave to join Potomac. This has an impact on annual performance goals. So Christy, how would you address that?
So at the fourth quarter of 2019 going into 2020, we actually put on our website on the chapter directory an interactive map. And so if you go onto the chapter directory and you click on the interactive map, you can zoom in and out and it shows you exactly where that chapter is located. And because of this question is why we actually put the map back up there, because we originally had it and then we revised our website in 2016 and they took it down because it was taking up a lot of bandwidth of our website. So we wanted it back. We're using it. It's helping individuals who don't really know where the chapter is to find out exactly where that chapter is located.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, guys, now we are going to open it up. Those were all the pre-submitted questions. So if you have been jotting down notes or if you have a question that you want to ask that you haven't heard the answer to yet, now's the time to get it asked, because this is the time when all of your membership people are going to be together. Plus we have Christy. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that. So if you've got a question, please use Zoom to raise your hand, and I will call on you in the order that the hands are raised. So who's going to be our first question today? Any questions? Something that didn't get answered. Okay, so Anna Laura, go for it.
I'm just curious about how are the sizes of the chapters determined? Do we do it or do Global do it?
Anna Laura, that I do not have the answer to that question for you. That's something that I would have to go back to Belinda, who's the director of the chapters. I'm not real sure on that, but I will find out information to get it back to you.
Thank you, Christy.
Anna Laura, are you referring to, I mean, like there used to be terminology that we used as, you know, the Big 10 or big chapters and medium-sized chapters, small chapters. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How many members does each chapter needs to be small, medium, large, or mega?
Wonderful. Christy can get you an answer for that. Yeah. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Next question. And I can't see if you're raising your hand on your video, we've got three screens. I may not be able to see you. So please use your raise hand feature in Zoom. Other questions? We threw a ton of information at you guys. You have got to have some questions.
Hey, Rick, I have a question if you have a minute.
Please go. Yes.
Great. Thank you. Like, have there ever been corporate memberships available at the chapter level before? Is that another way to maybe batch in groups of potential members?
Yeah. Go ahead, Rick.
No, go.
So actually, your company is one of our corporate memberships. So, I mean, all you have to do, I can send you the corporate membership information. It's out there. Are you part of your corporate membership? Do you know?
I am, yes, but I'm thinking targeting new members in our area for the chapter. And with people moving in and out of positions and stuff, I wondered if that was another vehicle to pursue.
Well, Christy, hang on. So Drew, the question I have for you is, when you said at the chapter level, what are you referring to? Because membership is not at the chapter level. You join the global association, right? And then you're parsed out. If you're a preferred member, you're parsed out to a chapter. But were you talking about something different?
No, I guess it would be like me facilitating the corporate membership applications or connecting them with Christy, I guess, versus just them connecting as a way for me to solicit potential new members.
Right. So one thing that I do want to make clear, when we launched the corporate membership a couple of years ago, I don't think it was very clear. I think our chapter leaders were a little bit confused by it. So for example, Drew, if you go out and you sell a 5-member corporate membership to the Marriott, that membership belongs to the Marriott, okay? So they're gonna have 5 members and not all of them are gonna be affiliated with your chapter. So which means they may have one that's affiliated with your chapter. So a corporate membership, it broadens the networking ability for companies. So they want to buy 5 and they want all 5 of those individuals to belong to a different chapter because they're broadening their networking capabilities.
Christy, I'm confused. I'm watching what's going on in the chat. Eddie Kertel asked the question, are those corporate memberships owned by the member or the company? Teresa responded, corporate membership is owned by the company. But you said earlier that if I'm a member and I am part of a corporate membership and I leave the company, did I not hear you say earlier that I take that membership with me and that there's another spot opened up in that corporate membership?
Absolutely, because technically it's a little confusing because MPI membership is still an individual membership. But what we want to do is we want to give the companies, because we run into this every single day where the companies pay for the membership, the individual leaves and they're out of a person at that company. So what it does is it gives the company to kind of manage the membership and say Teresa leaves and she leaves Marriott and goes to Hilton. Well, then I can go back and connect with a corporate membership individual and say, hey, we noticed that Teresa's left. Who would you like to take her spot? So we're allowing Teresa to keep her membership because we still want to maintain engagement with her and get her to renew. But we're also filling her spot at no additional cost to the company within the corporate membership.
So using your hypothetical, if I'm Teresa and I leave, is there some kind of notification that I have been switched over to an individual membership?
Well, right. So it's on the back end. You won't really see that. But usually what happens, Rick, is the company connects with us and says, hey,
Such and such has left.
Such and such has left. And so what we do is we remove them from the corporate membership. They're no longer connected to the Hilton. And then we fill that spot, and then we reach out to that individual to try to get new contact information, because the membership belongs to them. They're taking it with them if they leave. So if they only have 6 months left on the membership, they have 6 months left. And they're going to get an individual renewal notice, whereas a corporate membership gets one annual renewal notice to the primary individual over the corporate membership.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So
I have a question.
Okay, hang on. Carol, let me get to you because I think Eddie's got to follow up on this.
Yeah. So, but then as I pull a report for my membership team to follow up with these people, there's really no way for us to know that, Lorraine or whoever we're using in this thing kind of fell into that category of having a corporate membership prior, but now she has her own membership. And we want to just make sure she knows that, understands those things, because she might not even be in the industry at that point, right? She's on the dang Facebook page saying, I work in the hospitality industry trying to find a job or something like that. So it's a good personal touch for us to know to engage with that member. So does that show up anywhere in that report?
So when you're pulling your reports, there should be a column in your reports that will let you know if they're a dual membership or if they're a corporate membership. Or if
Right, but if it changes, we wouldn't know that it changes from May to June unless you're like eagle-eyed. Like you wouldn't know because we're not looking for people necessarily that still have 5 months left on their membership. We're looking on the fringes.
The only because we don't have the tools to mandate to we don't have the tools on our end that will let you know within your reports that says, hey, so-and-so is no longer with the corporate membership. What we can do, because we process that on a manual basis through the member engagement team, we're happy to go ahead and send out an email to the chapter that individual belongs to and letting the VP of membership know, hey, by the way, Teresa was part of the Marriott corporate membership, but she's now no longer a part of them.
Right there is the solution. If you can add that to your process, Christy, that anytime you change that you manually send a notification to the chapter, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. I will say it doesn't happen very often.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Carol, I see your hand up. Thank you very much. You're muted.
I wasn't quick enough, couldn't get there quick enough. Just carrying on from the corporate membership, one of the things that I didn't understand previously is that all of the members, like say the corporate membership with 5 members, can actually be associated with with different chapters. How does that show up on, like, where does the membership reside, and how do we know if we have any of those within our?
So it resides within the chapter that they're affiliated with, but within your all active member report, there is a column in there that lets you know if that person, it'll say CORP.
Yeah.
It'll kind of let you know, and that is your clue that individual is part of a corporate membership. And you'll see something that says HSMEI, that's a dual membership or NCBMP.
Okay, so say it was Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, or Toronto, etc. So if the 5 different people that are on that membership, we would each see that for on our memberships for who is associated with which one of our chapters.
Right. You would only see the individual that is associated with your chapter on your report.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Wonderful. And Adele, before I get to your question, Carol, you had posted something. I've been trying to keep track of what's been answered in the chat and what hasn't. I may have missed some, but I don't know if this one was answered. Early on in our session, you had posted, it would be excellent if MPI Global could give the VP of membership access to update the global database directly. And I saw that other people kind of gave you an exclamation mark on that. Christy, have we ever had, will the AMS change that?
Rick, I'm not real sure. I know there's a lot of details on the back end and why we do not allow that. I'm not sure if the AMS is going to provide an opportunity for that to happen in the future. I'm not on that committee. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of answers pertaining to that.
Okay, so let's just do, and I know not everyone has their video turned on right now, but I'd like to ask everyone if you could turn your video on. Since we're recording this, I want everyone to turn your video on, and I'm just going to do a quick straw poll. I know that this is not official and it's not anything, but I want to do a quick straw poll. If you think it would be important for that to occur, raise your hand. Raise your hand. I want to see if you'd like to have access to be able to make those changes at the chapter level. I'm seeing a lot of hands coming up. So, again, thank you very much. Christy, I understand there are limitations to what the AMS is going to be able to do, and it's all about money, it's all about programming, it's all about those kinds of things. But I wanted you as the manager of membership to be able to see that you have a whole lot of your membership people at the chapter level that think that would be a great benefit to them. Whether or not it can happen, I just wanted you to be able to see that. All right, Adele, thank you very much for your patience. Knock it out.
Okay, so I have two questions, and one might be that I just didn't look further. So what we notice, and I has mentioned, we've moved a lot of our information over into a tool called HubSpot in order to be able to help manage our outreach. But what I have noticed is that there's company addresses and information, and then there's not always any personal information, which I find to be a handicap, because if somebody has left, and that's what we're finding, that I'll email or I'll try to call, they're gone. They may not know that their membership was able to transfer over, because I had our membership meeting that we had the beginning of this week. I brought that up knowing, because when I left my last company, I took my membership because I knew I've been around for a long time. I've been on the board before a long time ago. So I knew the process, but I don't know if everybody else does. And even with our conversation on Monday, somebody said, no, it stays with the company. So even I think us as a team and coming in here, that wasn't even known. So we don't have any backup information to find them, as otherwise we go on our scavenger hunt through LinkedIn to then blah, 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 find them. So, does the chapter, or when they sign up for their membership, is there a way to mandate that they have some backup information?
We can mandate it. We do ask them. So we are asking for personal contact information or secondary contact information. It is up to them to provide that. We can't force them to provide that. I will tell you that we've had situations where they have added their personal contact information, and then it's listed in the online member directory. So we've gotten kickback from that because they're freaking out because their home address is on the directory, public for everyone to see it. All of that is in the hands of the individual members. They control anything and everything that MPI has in regards to their personal information, what they're receiving, what's being posted up. Adele, my team does the exact same thing that you're doing currently right now. LinkedIn is one of our best friends right now and trying to get new contact information. We do it on a daily basis, actually. We get these bounce backs, and right away we're going out and we're trying to get new contact information. I think from my experience this year, I think it's just that members right now, their membership is not their priority right now. Their priority is putting food on the table, paying their bills, and the last thing they're thinking about is updating their contact information with MPI. It's unfortunate, it's due to the situation that we're in. And I think from a chapter level and an MPI global level, we are doing all that we can possibly think to do to get this new contact information. And that's why it's imperative that we all work cohesively as a team and share that information. And just one more thing, Rick, in regards to the AMS system and the chapter leaders having access to the database, maybe, we can't do that, but maybe it's something to where we can set up a page on our website that chapter leaders go to submit updated information, to where we can gather that information and on one page, and then my team can take that and update everything. Because once we update everything in our database, it automatically refreshes online and in your membership reports.
Wonderful, thank you. And Adele, did you have a second question? And for the record, we only have 2 minutes left.
I'll talk fast because I can do that in New Jersey. Do we have anything that is on a corporate level that rolls out to universities, enabling us to be able to pull in faculty and then have the trickle down effect to their students to be able to have that feeder program?
So Adele, I will tell you that that was something we were starting to work on last year. It's been put on hold. I will also tell you that the Young Leaders Council is actually working on a strategic plan for that. It
Wonderful.
Will not launch until 2022.
Wonderful. All right, everyone. Any last questions? Before we head out, any last questions? We got time for at least one more. All right. Well, I want to say thank you.
I see a question.
I'm sorry, I didn't see one.
A newbie question. Do chapters copy or download the global database for mailings, et cetera, or are the two databases synced?
So you have access to your chapter's database. So you can go on to the CLRP and download your all member list. We want you to do that. We want you to utilize it to connect with your members, but outside of your chapter database, you do not have access to that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Christy. One other thing that I want to just recommend to everyone, if you're on your computer, I can't tell you how to do it on your phone or on your tablet, but if you're on your computer and you want to save the chat from this meeting, go open your participants panel, and in the bottom, in the chat panel, and in the right-hand side, there's 3 dots. If you click on those dots, the top option is to save chat. All of the questions, because Teresa knocked it out of the ballpark answering questions for us. You can save that directly to your computer. With that, I want to say thank you for your time today, being with us here in the membership breakout. We hope we answered the questions that you had, gave you information that's going to set you up for success. Everyone, please give a big round of applause to Christy Estrada and Carolyn Browning. Thank you very much.
And Rick Weaver.
Thank you. All right, everyone, we'll see you back on the main stage.
Bye.